I want to welcome the members, staff who are in attendance, and guests, visitors, to this special meeting of the members of the Dormitory Authority. Because this is a public meeting that is being held telephonically, there are certain notifications that have to be in the record. Mike Cusack, our General Counsel, is going to put that material into the record before we start the meeting. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning. On March 7th, 2020, Governor Cuomo declared a disaster emergency in the state of New York due to the outbreak of the novel coronavirus, or COVID-19. Pursuant to Governor Cuomo's subsequent Executive Order 202.1, dated March 12, 2020, as extended by Executive Orders 202, numbers 14, 28, 38, and 48, today's special meeting of the Board of Directors of the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York, or DASNY, is being conducted by conference call. Executive Order 202.1, as extended, provides in relevant part that Article 7 of the Public Officers Law, known as the Open Meetings Law, is suspended through August 5th, 2020, to the extent necessary to permit any public body to meet and take such actions authorized by the law without permitting in-person access to meetings, and authorizing such meetings to be held remotely by conference call or similar service, provided that the public has the ability to view or listen to such proceeding and that such meetings are recorded and later transcribed. The location of today's conference call special meeting of the DASNY Board is designated as the DASNY Headquarters, 515 Broadway, Albany, New York, where I am located. Notice of this meeting has been posted in the standard locations that are publicly accessible. Notice has also been posted prominently on the DASNY.org public website. In accordance with EO 202.1 as extended and the DASNY bylaws, an audio recording of this meeting will be accessible from DASNY's website, www.dasny.org, not later than 2 business days after the close of the meeting, and today's proceedings will also be transcribed and posted as soon thereafter as is reasonably practicable under the circumstances. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Michael, thank you very much. Kimberly, would you take the roll?
Yes, thank you, Al. In addition to yourself, Al, we have John Johnson, Joan Sullivan, Adrian Schwarsky, Brian Chesnicki, John Gardner, Beryl Snyder, Wellington Chen, and Janice McKinney.
Outstanding. Thank you all.
I think you missed me. I think you missed me.
Sorry, I did. Jerry Roundsky.
Thank you. I know, I'm easy to forget. I'm easy to forget, I know.
No, not at all. But Jerry, thank you for being on the call. As you all know, this is a special meeting. We have one agenda item for the day for the meeting. What I want to do, though, is something a bit unusual. Before we actually move to a vote, rather than asking the members as a group to respond to the question, whether there are any questions or comments, I'd like to get everybody on the record on this one. You all know that the resolution, its title, a resolution authorizing the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York to fund costs associated with the authority's new leased space at 28 Liberty Street, New York, New York. And I'm going to ask each of you individually whether you have questions or comments. I'd like to start with John Johnson, the Vice Chair.
I have no questions. I am very satisfied with the progress that's been made on this project. I thought that our last meeting and the information provided subsequent to that meeting should have answered all of my questions. I feel that it's been thoroughly discussed, thoroughly and prized by various experts, including Jerry Ronsky of our board, who is much more intimate with the New York State real estate market than I am. So I am very comfortable, and I think that the staff and the board has done an exemplary job in making sure that this is the right thing to do for the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York.
John, thank you very much. I couldn't agree more. Jerry, as chairman of the Ad Hoc Real Estate Committee and, of course, as Finance Committee Chair, do you have any questions or comments?
Just a couple. First of all, thank you, John, and thank you, Al. You know, initially I was a little surprised by the request, and I think we all were concerned by it. And we, and myself included, we raised a number of very, initially some broad concerns and some broad requests. And Paul and his staff were very, very helpful and responsive, and they submitted the information that I requested, and then we requested additional information just to drill down a little bit more, and that information was requested. And like John said, like over the course of that review and discussions, I became, you know, more comfortable with the request, and I'm sort of now okay with it. I mean, the timing is, you know, remains unfortunate, but it's really not much we can do about it. And finally, I know I mentioned it the last time, Al, but I think the space itself is a very good space for addressing some of the specific concerns raised by COVID-19, including the fact that the elevators in that building were totally revamped and redone. So they're very quick, so you don't have to be in the elevator for a long period of time, which sounds like it is very, very, very helpful. The space has a lot of outdoor open space as well as some indoor open space, which is helpful. And the HVAC system there is pretty new and sophisticated. So, you know, the space is good. So, you know, I thank everybody for putting up with me and dealing with some of my questions. And that said, I'll be quiet and pass it on to whoever else is next. Thanks.
Jerry, thank you for your work on this committee. I think that if we had to pay you for the work you've done on behalf of DASNY, we probably couldn't afford you. So thank you very much for taking the time and making the effort. Ms. Snyder, as an officer of the board, do you have any questions or comments?
Thank you, Al. First of all, I echo what John has said. I thought that the presentation by the staff was extraordinary. I thought it was very detailed, and it really dealt with every important issue. And Jerry, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think you've done an excellent job. I agree. We would not have the money to pay you. So I appreciate you doing this for nothing.
You think?
Along those lines, I am also, as a lifelong resident of New York State and New York City, I am very happy to be moving downtown back to New York and opening up in the fall with a lot of other parts of New York City. One can only hope. I think it's a very important step for DASNY to take. I am very proud to be a part of it. So did a great job, and I look forward to the opening of the new office and our first meeting there.
Beryl, thank you very much. I agree with everything you've said, and thank you for saying it. The chairman of the audit committee is in attendance, I gather. Mr. Gardner, do you have questions or comments?
Actually, after our last meeting, I had a follow-up call with Ruben and members of his IT department, and I had specific questions that I really didn't want to bore everyone with, and I'm very comfortable now, and they were extremely responsive. And Jerry Romsky, thank you. Gives me a lot of, it just gives the whole thing credibility to have you doing what you did, and especially for members of the board. So thank you, and I'm comfortable going forward.
John, thank you very, very much. Mr. Chen, Wellington, do you have questions or comments?
No, I echo the sentiment of everyone. I have a self-interest of being very close to Chinatown with the new office.
I was going to mention it, actually.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can literally walk down. I walk down there all the time. So just so I'm going to get some leg exercise as a result of this.
We will be having dinner there, Wellington. We're going to walk up for dinner.
Absolutely. Anytime. You'll be my treat.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your comments, Wellington. We look forward to being close to Chinatown. Ms. Sullivan.
No, I think that the staff of DASNY has done a terrific job, and Jerry, you too. Although I don't know the real estate market, I'm pretty impressed with your knowledge. The fact that we'll be saving substantially makes me feel real good, and I really don't have anything to add to or to advise in terms of the additional expenses, because I think they're very well thought out. So I too am game on this one. Thank you.
Joan, thank you very much for your comments. Mr. Sheknicki, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I'm good. I think I spoke a little too much last week, so I will just echo appreciation of staff and you know, the ability to suss out these details and work with us on getting more information is greatly appreciated.
You can never speak too much in one of these meetings, Brian. Thank you for your comments at the regular meeting. It was great to have them. Ms. McKinney, I know this will be your first vote as a member of the authority. You're brand new to all of this. You were in on the discussions on the 15th, and now
Yeah.
And then these discussions today. Do you have any questions or comments?
No questions. Comments is just that I agree with everyone, and having some sidebar conversation with John, my Buffalo colleague, and thanking everyone for their expertise. And also that the staff has been very considerate and sensitive in this time. When you talk about spending $3 million in a time where we're not sure where our state's budgets and different finances are going, I know that it's a challenge, but I think they did an extraordinary job in defining everything, and that I'm very comfortable moving forward with the decision as the board as a whole.
Janice, thank you very much for that. Adrian, Mr. Schwarzewski, do you have questions or comments?
I do not. I'll just do some more echoing, and not the Zoom call type, but just to say that you know, I don't have anything to add to all the the good thoughtful questions that many of the other board members have asked, and I do also appreciate the detailed response from staff. So
as do I. Thank you very much, Adrian. Let me say quickly, because the meeting has already gone longer than I thought it would, but I'm pleased with all the comments. I made the meeting longer. I apologize. Let me say that I think the staff has been extraordinary in responding to the questions of the members. We, as I say all the time, are a governance body. We do not manage DASNY. The governance questions that you all brought to the table were extremely thoughtful and I thought absolutely necessary to answer. Mr. President, I think that you've led this effort admirably, and I think that we are not only are we pleased to have you as the managing leader of DASNY, but we are also pleased that you think about these matters as you have demonstrated, as clearly and as broadly as you've demonstrated at this time. I look forward to this vote. I am going to, and I don't believe Ms. Raleigh is on the phone. Is that correct? Okay.
That's correct. Thank you.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do is to ask the chairman of the Ad Hoc Real Estate Committee to move approval of the resolution.
I so move.
Thank you very much, Jerry. I'll open the floor to a second.
John Johnson will second.
John, thank you very much. I will ask the question, as I have in the recent telephonic and Zoom meetings. Is there any opposition to the approval of the resolution?
The only thing I add to that, Al, is that please just continue to keep us in the loop as the progress and the workout advances. I'm sure they will, but I'm just putting that request on.
Absolutely, Jerry. But I think we can rely on that without any question at all.
I agree. Thank you.
If there's no opposition and there are no abstentions, then the motion carries unanimously. Congratulations to the board and to staff. The resolution is approved.
Mr. Chairman, this is Ruben. Can I make one comment?
Yes, of course, sir.
First, good morning to everyone. I appreciate your time and attendance and taking this time Jerry, John, Joan in particular, but everybody who took the time to look at the information and get into it. I really appreciate that. I will include in my president's reports between now and the time we move in, just quick updates so everyone has the information that they need to know that we are, working hard to get moved in. I can tell you that people are moving out now, and so we're very excited about this and appreciate the board's support. That's all I have.
Mr. President, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure. This process, what it demonstrates is that we are fortunate to have extremely strong board members in a situation where there was some question initially. You all responded magnificently to those questions. Cannot thank you enough. Very pleased and satisfied with the way this process went, echoing the Vice Chairman's comments. I look forward to our next meeting. Forgive me for not knowing when that is, but whenever it is, we'll all be there, I hope. May I have a motion to adjourn?
You got it. Thank you, Al.
Motion to adjourn, seconded. It's approved.
Joan Sullivan.
Thank you. Thank you, Joan. The meeting stands adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you. Have a nice rest of the summer. Bye.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
You too.